rebels have ousted President Bashar al-Assad after over 50 years of his family's rule. The Russian Foreign Ministry confirmed that Assad has fled the country following a rapid rebel offensive that toppled his regime. His whereabouts remain unclear. Two Syrian sources said there was a very high probability that Assad may have been killed in a plane crash, as it was a mystery why the plane took a surprise U-turn and disappeared off the map, according to data from the Flight Radar website. Prime Minister Mohammad 𝐒𝐭𝐨𝐫𝐢 has called for free elections and expressed readiness to support the transitional period, while rebel commander Abu Muhammad al-Golani, head of the group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, has been in discussions about managing the transition. The collapse of Assad's rule marks a seismic shift for the Middle East, creating uncertainty and raising concerns over the future stability of Syria, where HTS influence is expected to grow. As Syrians celebrated in the streets of Damascus and Homs, the fall of Assad also signals a loss for his key allies Russia and Iran. Meanwhile, Iran's embassy in Damascus was stormed by rebels, further escalating the region's volatility. The conflict in Gaza continues to devastate both sides, with significant loss of life and destruction. According to Gaza's health ministry, at least 44,708 Palestinians have been killed since Israel's military offensive began on October 7, 2023, with over 106,000 individuals injured. In the past 24 hours, 44 additional deaths were reported, further intensifying the humanitarian crisis. Amid the ongoing violence, Palestinian factions have been instructed by Hamas to compile information on hostages held in Gaza, including whether they are alive or dead. As of now, 96 hostages remain in Gaza, with 34 confirmed dead by the Israeli military. Meanwhile, the situation for civilians in Gaza worsened with the shelling of Kamal Adwan Hospital in northern Gaza's Beit Lahia by Israeli forces. The attack damaged vital hospital infrastructure, including oxygen pumps and electricity, hindering the ability to conduct urgent surgeries. The hospital is currently treating 112 wounded individuals, including 6 in intensive care. The disruption of medical services in an already overwhelmed health system has raised concerns over the survival of many critically ill patients. The United Nations has once again called for a ceasefire, describing the human cost of the war as unbearable. With Israeli airstrikes continuing to target homes and infrastructure, Palestinian civilians are left to search through the rubble of their destroyed homes. As casualties rise, the UN continues to urge for an immediate halt to the fighting to alleviate the suffering of the civilian population and restore essential services. In Pakistan, multiple incidents across Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan have drawn attention to the country's ongoing security challenges. At least 9 security personnel were martyred in separate operations over the weekend. In KP, 6 soldiers lost their lives in 3 intense operations across Tang, North Waziristan and Hangu districts, where 22 terrorists were killed. These operations aimed at eradicating terrorism were lauded by President Asif Ali Zardari and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who praised the bravery of the forces. Meanwhile, in Balochistan, 3 security personnel were martyred in separate attacks, including one on a Frontier Corps checkpoint in Dukhi and another involving an IED explosion targeting the Pakistan Coast Guards in Gwadar. In sports, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif commended Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman Mohsin Naqvi for his principled stance on hosting the 2025 ICC Champions Trophy in Pakistan. Despite opposition from the Board of Control for Cricket in India due to security concerns, Naqvi emphasized that preparations for the event are on track and pledged to uphold the country's interests. The Prime Minister echoed this sentiment, stating that Pakistan's prestige was paramount. On the economic front, Pakistan's stock market achieved a record-breaking performance, with the KSE 100 index surging by 7,697 points, marking the highest weekly gain in over 4 years. The market's positive momentum was driven by improved inflation data, economic stability, and increased mutual fund buying. The growth was supported by rising industrial outputs, including cement and petroleum, alongside a favorable macroeconomic outlook. The market is expected to maintain its upward trajectory as the anticipated interest rate cuts loom.